Hi everyone, it's Ailin Duran here, coming to you from our new office space, Spirit Tropical Healing's new office space, and it's really great. It's really great. I got a nice big desk here. I got a big pile of client work that I'm going through right now, and yeah, we're still getting settled into this new place, but I thought that I would take a break from that and pretty much just go through some questions that you guys have been asking. I've been posting a lot of informative posts on Instagram, so for those of you that follow me there, you know that I've been, coming out with new articles, I'd say like 2 brand new articles each week. I've been really trying to keep up with that to help you guys as much as possible. So I got a lot of questions in one of my previous posts, and it was a post about mucoid plaque, what it is, how to get rid of it, and I wanted to go through those questions today and answer them because I got so many, and I don't really have all the time in the world to be typing up all the answers to all these questions. So I thought that I could reach out to more of you in the form of a video, if in case someone else has a similar question or the same question, they watch this video, then they get the answer. So because through video I'm able to reach more people. Even though I'm kind of an introvert, sometimes I don't want to turn on the camera, I kind of force myself to. I'm definitely more of a writer, but I'll get in these spurts of wanting to make videos for you guys. So right now I'm feeling that little spark, and let's get started with the video. So for this first question, let's see here. So I think this was a new follower, but they said, oh my God, so there is a possibility for the colon to restore itself to a normal function again. Not only have I got a prolapsed colon, but also followed by stomach prolapsus and uterus bladder prolapsus. It's so uncomfortable, and people just don't realize this is a huge problem. It prevents me from everything. Yeah, I know, stop right there. I personally experienced transverse colon prolapsus, and during my detox, I had to personally heal prolapsus on my uterus and the transverse colon, because what we have to realize is the colon, it goes up, across, and down, so ascending, transverse, and descending colon, and then right in the middle, you have the uterus, you have the ovaries, you have the stomach, you have all these organs. So when the transverse colon, which is the middle, prolapses, which that occurs due to high acidosis within the colon wall, lymphatic congestion within the bowel wall. In those high acid conditions, the body has to leach calcium out of the connective tissue to buffer that major acidosis, because if you spend years and years with all that accumulation in your colon and you're not doing anything to change your diet, the body's first response, a protective response, is to leach calcium from the connective tissue and bones to put the fire out, so to speak. So then what results is prolapsing, the bowel losing its tone, the bowel sagging, and then other organs start to feel the effects from this. Not only because they're located right directly underneath the colon, and then it starts to put pressure on it, which can be really uncomfortable, really painful. You can get you may start peeing on yourself, you may start feeling a lot of pain, you may start getting menstruation irregularities, you may start to get fibroids and cysts in that area. It's like an entire thing. And then same thing goes for males too. Then they get prostate enlargement, and then they get a lot of different issues, diverticulitis, bowel pockets, inflammation of the whole gut and bowel wall. So it's a very serious issue, and it's something that I help many of my clients achieve, rebuilding of the colon. But first, you gotta detox, you gotta cleanse the colon out very deeply. Now, this is not done with just a regular vegan diet or even a regular raw food diet. You have to dig in really deep with the diet. So yeah, let me go back to the question here, but I just wanted to speak on that, what causes prolapses, because that's pretty important. So they say, I lie down all the time. Okay, it's so uncomfortable, and people just don't realize this as a huge problem. It prevents me from everything. I lie down all the time. I can't even control it. My bladder and colon, incontinence, etc. Yeah, exactly. With the incontinence, like I was saying, you can't really control your urine. I've often been hopeless. The fact I didn't think that my organs could go back into its place again. Have you been successful with those you've helped with prolapsus, and what herbs did you use? Okay, right there. So the only way to succeed in finding the true cause of why someone has prolapsing in their colon, there's quite a few different factors, and this is why you have to work with the detox specialist and look at the body holistically. So I've seen cases where there was a parathyroid gland weakness. So the parathyroid glands are located right here in the neck area where the thyroid gland is, and they control calcium utilization. So if your body takes calcium out of the tissue, to buffer the acidosis, the parathyroid gland helps replace that calcium back. Now, if someone has a weak parathyroid gland, they can't replace the calcium back. So the calcium continues to get lost and lost and lost and lost. And what results is osteoporosis, arthritis, bruising easily, connective tissue weakness, prolapsing, bladder weakness, and so on, and even depression. Depression is also caused by that too. So that's one thing that I would look at if I was looking at your entire case is, does this person have a parathyroid gland weakness? And it is so often the case that they do, whether that's congestion in the parathyroid gland, or it might be a genetic weakness, which means more often than not, it's deterioration of the parathyroid gland, which is more serious. You'd have to really, work with the herbs or work with stronger formulas to rebuild those glands and help them remember genetically in their memory to start working again. Now, not everyone that has prolapsing has a parathyroid gland weakness, but it is always like 99% of the time related to a gland weakness. The pituitary gland is something else that has to be addressed and looked at. If someone doesn't have a parathyroid gland weakness, I look at their eyes, I look at their symptoms, and I'm like, okay, I don't really see parathyroid gland weakness. Let's look to see if they have a pituitary gland weakness. Yes, more often than not, they totally have a pituitary gland weakness. I cannot even recall a time where I've seen the transverse colon prolapsed and someone not have a pituitary gland weakness, because it rests right on top of there. So when you look at the iris through iridology, and for those of you that don't know, if I'm speaking like mumbo jumbo here, when I work with people, I take a look at their eyes, and this is like a very, very sharp image, close-up image of the eye, and I pretty much can distinguish what organs, glands, and systems are down in the body through the signs in the iris, because the irises are the maps to not only the soul, but to the physical body as well. So the sign that I look at for a pituitary gland weakness is right on top of the iris. So right above the pupil, if there's a dark mark there in that general area, that's a pituitary gland weakness. Signs of pituitary gland weakness can include trouble menstruating, female reproductive issues. If someone is pretty short in height, like typically, I want to see someone be like around 5'6" to 5'8" for women, and then for guys 5'8" to 5'10", that's a good height, letting me know that the pituitary gland was strong enough that it helped them grow throughout their teenage and adult years. But if someone's pituitary gland is weak, that usually results in either shorter heights, 5'3", 5'2", 5 feet, 4 feet, something. And at the same time, people that are really tall can have a pituitary gland weakness. So we're talking like if someone's 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", they have a pituitary gland weakness. So the pituitary gland has to be addressed. Now, I know I went through a bunch of stuff there, but the reason that this gland is so important is that it controls all the other glands in the body. It's the master gland of the body. So you could have a major weakness of the pituitary gland that can be contributing to the parathyroid gland not functioning properly. So in this case, we would have to address the pituitary gland too. Now, I don't only recommend just one herbal, just one herb for an organ or a gland because it's often not strong enough. We've definitely dug ourselves into a hole, society in general, from constant, bad eating throughout the generations, and our parents not knowing any better with their eating habits. And it's only now, like in the more recent years, that people have really looked at detoxification as an answer to their health issues. And more and more light is being shed to that, because detox has been around since the beginning of time, but it's only now, really, in the last 100 years, I would say, that it's being revisited, and even more now, in the past like 5 years, that it's gained a lot more traction and it's being noticed more, with the effects of fasting. Now science and studies are recognizing that fasting is really important, but with the media, they only ever show half truths. So they'll say like, oh, intermittent fasting is great, but they don't really focus on the diet aspect. So intermittent fasting is great, yeah, it's not for everyone. People with weak adrenal glands can't really do too much dry fasting or fasting in general, so they never really reveal that part. And at the same time, they never touch on the diet. So you have a bunch of people intermittent fasting but still eating crap. They're still eating meat, they're still eating grains, junk foods, and they think that they can get away with it just because they're fasting. And then they have like that one little 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour span in their day to just pig out on a bunch of food. That is no good. That wrecks the adrenal glands so bad. I've seen it in so many people. Like, don't even do it, But anyways, yeah, so like I was saying, in order to make the gland remember how to function in genetic terms, because that if you have like a dark, deep lesion looking at your eye, or if you have a whole host of symptoms in relation to having this gland weakness, then you're gonna have to pull out all the stops. One herb won't cut it, so that's why I recommend certain specific strong formulas, either herbal formulas or even glandulars in extreme cases, that the person must absolutely take, along with the healing diet. So yeah, let me see what else you guys said here. Okay, so they said, I just started the medical medium protocol and I felt improvements. Not in the prolapsing though, but in the cleansing part. I really feel it. Thank you so much for this post, really helpful. You're welcome. I really love just sharing all my knowledge with you guys, because I've been studying this for years and years and years. Like, I'm 27 years old now, about to be 28 in June. So old, right? And I've been studying the human body ever since 14 years old. At the age of 14, I knew I wanted to be a doctor or a healer, but then I realized, at the age of around 17, 18, how corrupt the medical system is, and all they're doing is just pushing drugs, and then the patients, they take the drugs and medications, and then they end up with a whole host of other health issues, and their first health issue was never healed or addressed, So I quickly realized that from a young age, and that's when I started studying more about natural medicine and holistic healing. And then I came across detoxification, and then iridology and healing with the herbs, and then the rest is history. But I believe in this way so much because I personally healed, and for years now I've been healing clients from a whole host of health issues, prolapsing included. It's pretty easy to heal once you know what the cause is. Like I was saying before, you have a parathyroid gland weakness, the pituitary gland weakness, do you have congestion in the colon, do you have acidosis in the colon, what else is prolapsing, pressure is also very important. What is the colon putting pressure on? And even the colon itself it's a reflexive organ, because when you're born, the colon tissue is one of the first tissues that are formed, and it's actually out of the colon tissue that all other organs and glands that are brought forth, you know. So if you have, in this case, congestion or deterioration in the transverse colon, or toxicity, or, you know, parasitic infestation, or a toxic environment, what have you, oftentimes you'll see in the eye even toxic tunnels, like called radii solaris, lines going up into the brain area, feeding toxicity to the brain. Now that shows the relation, oh, it's a cute little butterfly, that shows the relation between that section of the colon and that area of the body. So that's also something else that has to be looked at. But with all that information, I can gather up the perfect diet for you and the perfect herbal protocol for you in order to heal these issues. And I think that, yeah, you would definitely do like very, very great work. Because the medical medium protocol, although it's a good starting point, it's a good way to transition from like a standard American diet or a vegan diet to a more raw food, whole food, plant-based diet. It doesn't dig deep enough in terms of regeneration. In order to heal prolapsing, you have to cut out all cooked foods. You have to really focus on just fruits, juices, raw foods, things that will help pull the mucus out of the colon and will help pull out any sulfur if you have sulfur in the colon, clean out the acidic waste that, you know, contribute to parasite proliferation. You have to get all these things out. You want to be able to see the mucus coming out through your stools, through your bowels, the parasites coming out, orange smelly sulfur coming out, old hardened stools that have been stuck there for years. All those things have to come out before you can even begin to think about rebuilding the colon up again. And then that in itself is another protocol. So there's a detoxification stage, and then there's a rebuilding stage. So you can't really rebuild the colon without deeply detoxifying it first. And it's not the same protocol for everyone. It's never going to look the same because each person comes with their own set of, you know, genetic weaknesses passed down from their parents. They come with their own health history, like whether they've been to different specialists or doctors, whether they've taken certain medications throughout their life. They come with their own experiences. A lot of times, like stressful situations or past experiences can put a huge burden on the glands themselves, and so that would have to be you know, dealt with and seen and really looked at for the person to de-stress, you know. It's just so many different factors. And even the diet that they're currently following, you know, I wouldn't jump someone straight into fasting if they're eating a standard American diet still with, you know, some meat or some dairy, for example. You have to slowly transition people into the higher levels of healing. And so whatever stage you're at, I will go to the next deeper stage, but I won't jump straight to the most powerful stage, because then the body will detox too fast and then that could be harmful, you know. So this is what it takes to heal the body, and you know, working with an experienced detox specialist that really considers everything, all the factors, and the lifestyle of the person, not just only through the eyes, but through speaking with someone one-on-one directly, asking specific questions, asking the right questions. You know, for those of you that have had a consultation with me, you know, I do ask deeper questions to, you know, I do it for you guys because I really want you guys to heal. And the more information I know about you, the better you will heal, the better the results will be, and the faster your healing time will be. So I hope that answered your question. It's a really great question, and yes, we've had success with you know, healing prolapsing of all sorts, because really, if you go after the entire health of the body, the health of every cell of the body, then the entire body starts to heal. So it's pretty amazing how the body works in that way. Okay, so thank you for your question. Next question, let's see. Well, let me have some orange juice from my watermelon cup. Isn't it cute? I found this on sale and it's perfect. One of my favorite fruits is watermelon, and it actually helped me with healing my own colon. Watermelons are really good for the colon. If you haven't seen the video yet, check out the top 3 most detoxifying fruits video that I have on this YouTube channel. And it'll take you through all the specific fruits that I recommend and what their uses are in terms of healing. Okay, so let's see this next question. And all these questions are going to be colon related because that was underneath the colon, mucoid plaque Instagram post. By the way, if you guys aren't following my Instagram, it's at Spirit Tropical Healing. And if you don't have an Instagram, get one because it's amazing. People share their stories on there. People share priceless information on there. That's my main channel of communication with you guys. I'm constantly posting stories throughout my day. If you want to take a look at my day, I'm constantly posting, articles and blog posts, inspirational posts, recipe posts, and that's my main source of my main channel of giving you guys the healing information in order for you to heal yourselves. So definitely check it out. I'll put the link in the description below this video. So here's the next question. Is it still possible to remove mucoid plaque if you're mostly raw with some cooked? I've been taking Dr. Morse's GI Broom and I see some white mucus, but rarely dark like mucoid plaque. Okay. So, like I said before, you want to realize that no, you cannot heal, regenerate, and remove mucoid plaque while still eating cooked food. However, that's not to say that you won't have your moments in which you want to eat some cooked food during your detox, because detox and healing is never linear. You don't go from point A to point B like continuously going up. Oh, I'm healing more and more and more and more. Oh, I'm healed, yay. That's not how it works. It's like, I'm feeling better. Oh my God, I feel like crap. Oh, I'm feeling a little better. Oh my God, what's going on here? What's the meaning of life? I'm getting worse. This can't be the way. Oh, I'm finally feeling a little better. Oh my God, the cravings are hitting in. Oh, I'm feeling a little better, a little better. Finally, I've healed. That's how healing is. So in those setbacks, if you're having strong detox symptoms, then sometimes you're gonna wanna have cooked foods, If a healing crisis is too strong, if you feel too much pain in certain areas, then having steamed vegetables or something along those lines is going to help you out in the long run with keeping your focus and keeping your detox. Because sometimes if you're too strict, then I notice people just fall off the bandwagon completely and they never revisit detox again. That's not what we want. We want to maintain steady healing of the body while still, challenging ourselves, in small ways to continuously dig deeper. But that's not to say, you can't relax and rest a little bit, not be too strict with the diet, but you have to know when to be strict and when to, set your cards on the table and relax. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that if your focus is to remove mucoid plaque, like I said before, you should focus on high astringent fruits, the most astringent fruits, and fasting. Do fruit fast to really clean up the mucus from the colon. So things like oranges and citrus fruits and lemons and limes, they help remove mucus from the body wonderfully. Things like watermelons and melons of all kinds, but specifically watermelon, have a fantastic healing and cleansing effect on the entire GI tract. It's really amazing, especially in high acidosis cases. Watermelon is very alkalizing and healing. And also if you're constipated at all, watermelon will help push all those old stools out and you won't have constipation anymore. So and grapes too. Grapes are wonderful fast. If you fast on grapes, or if you do like a juice fast, pretty much if you do as simple of a diet as possible while taking the GI Broom, you're going to see the most amount of mucoid plaque, and you'll start to finally see that black plaque that is caking the walls of the bowels, you know. Because seeing just like white, clear mucus, you know, that's okay and all. That's what everyone typically sees when they first start to detox deeply with the herbs and with the diet. But when you start seeing the black plaque come out, that stinky, nasty plaque that pretty much everyone has because of eating starchy gluten foods, proteins, meat, animal products all their lives, when that starts to come out, ooh, you'll feel the difference, you know. Malabsorption is healed that way. The prolapsing is healed that way. Even like head issues like, you know, brain fog is healed, fatigue is healed, anxiety, depression, all those things, you know, anything related to the head area is healed. Then this area where the colon is starts to heal as well. So anyone that has ovarian cysts, tumors, you know, bladder weakness, like everything located in that lower abdomen region starts to heal as well, especially the kidneys too. So yeah, I think that if you just continue going as best as you can with eating raw foods and just pick yourself back up. Every time you have a cheat, it's okay. It's okay. You just start again. Immediately after, just say, I enjoyed that cooked meal. It was fun. It was nice. I really needed that. But now I'm going to get back to work. And now it's serious work time. I'm going to eat some watermelon now. You know what I mean? And just keep on doing that. And dig deeper, never give up. Then you'll see the mucoid plaque come out. Definitely. Sometimes it takes a few months for people to see mucoid plaque come out, but that's why I recommend working with someone, a detox specialist like myself, because then we can see what it is that you're doing wrong. Because I don't know like how, like if you're taking it the right way, you know, maybe you'd benefit from taking it a certain time of day over another. I don't know how much of it you're taking. I don't know what other herbal formulas you're taking with it, what your diet looks like. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But yeah, that's why I recommend working with someone that knows, you know, how to get mucoid plaque out and has had experience with healing their own colon. Because like I said before, my colon was a huge mess. That was my worst problem, I would say, because I typically see that people's problems that are the worst issues are the ones they've had the longest. So for myself, for example, I had colon issues ever since I was a baby. Like literally ever since I was born and I had living memory, I had colon issues. So to give you an example, I remember being 6 years old, being in the bathroom, crying, and my parents had to take me to the hospital because I could not pass stool. I could not go to the bathroom. It was stuck inside of me. And so they had to take me to the hospital in the middle of the night with my whole family there. I was so embarrassed at 6 years old that I had poop stuck inside of me that just couldn't come out. And it was very painful. And yeah, I went to the hospital and they gave me a solution to drink and they gave me like some sort of enema and then it came out. But that was just a temporary solution because as I got older, my constipation issues got worse and worse and worse. And looking back at it now as a detox specialist and healer, I now see why that occurred. People eat so much dairy, they drink cow milk, they eat cheese, ice creams, yogurts, everything's dairy. That's the biggest addiction. And that's what causes the most constipation in people. Interstitial lymphatic constipation within the gut wall and the bowel wall. And high acidosis produces so much mucus. The milk proteins, milk products produce the most amount of mucus out of any food imaginable. On top of that, grains. I come from a Spanish family. We're Dominican, and my whole life, for every meal, it was rice with something else. Rice with proteins, rice with eggs, rice with this and that. It was always rice. So, you know, we would have arroz con leche for breakfast, which is like sweetened rice. For lunch, we would have rice with tostones or chicken. And then for dinner, we would have rice, beans, chicken salad. You know, it was just rice. So people have no idea how detrimental grains are to the GI tract. They're very abrasive. They're very, they have no hydration to them. They're very hard to break down. They're starchy, so it breeds bacteria, fungus. It breeds candida, fungus, bacteria. Just grains are just never, like, if you're first trying to detox yourself, maybe a tiny amount of grains is acceptable just in the beginning, but there's something that have to be come out. They have to be cut out completely, definitely. So, I mean, I know where you're coming from with all these colon issues, because it took me a while to heal them. But when I finally did, I was set free. And I see that with so many people, that a lot of their health issues are stemming just from issues in their colon. The colon is really like the seat of health. Like, it's the main hub of the body. If you have toxicity in your colon, if you have an unhealthy colon, I don't care how the rest of your body looks like. You know, you could have the healthiest heart, you can have the healthiest set of lungs. If your colon is crap, then you can't have health. Impossible. The four main processes of the body, they're directly connected to the GI tract. So you have to consider this. Our main source of energy comes from food, right? No matter what food it is. If you're eating standard American diet, or if you're eating raw vegan, everyone's body works the same in this respect: digestion, absorption, utilization, elimination. We must digest our foods, break them down properly. Digestion starts right here in the mouth. You know, you have to chew your food very well. You have to have the right enzymes to break it down in the mouth. Then it goes down to the stomach. The stomach has to have just the right amount of hydrochloric acid, you know, has to work in conjunction with the pancreas and the liver and the gallbladder to fully digest and break down the foods. So if those organs are down and digestion is impaired, then everything else will follow suit. So digestion, absorption, are you absorbing the nutrition from your foods? That's really important, because how are you going to be able to use the actual vitamins, minerals, nutrients from your foods? You know, that's the whole purpose of eating, is to get the absorption factors from the food. So I find that correlates with the colon. If you have a lot of mucoid plaque caking your colon, then, you know, minimal absorption is achieved. Utilization is the next one. That has everything to do with the glands. The adrenal glands produce steroids that are responsible for utilizing the carbohydrates. So for people with diabetes, people with blood sugar level issues, their adrenal glands are always down, because it's so weak it can't utilize carbon. Elimination is the last one. Elimination, that one speaks for itself. If you're having trouble with constipation, stools are backing up, toxicity is backing up, and you have pounds and pounds of mucus and undigested matter just caking the bowel wall, I mean, that's gonna feed toxicity all over the body. It's gonna affect your heart, your lungs, your uterus, your pancreas, your liver, your brain. Everything's gonna be affected. Because like I said before, the colon is a reflexive organ. And if you have impactions in any area of the colon, you will feel it in that corresponding organ, where the tissue of that organ originally came from when you were a fetus in your mom's belly. So the body is amazing. I hope that answered that question. I really love talking about detox, guys. I could talk about it all day. Let's see another question. Okay, this one's kind of long, but I'm still gonna read it. This will be the last one. Hey Ailin, so grateful for the work you do and all of the energy you put into the super informative posts you share. Thank you very much. I've been eating a high fruit, high raw diet for over a year now, and I've just recently taken it up a notch by using my own version of the GI Broom that I made out of psyllium husk, bentonite clay, activated charcoal, plantain, cascara sagrada, and slippery elm. It's very expensive for me to order Dr. Morse's products to myself in Canada. Yeah, I know. I've been doing at least 12 to 14 hours of dry fasting each day, breaking fast around 11 with the citrus and Concord grape juice, and then eating 1 or 2 meals later in the day, both raw or 80% raw, and one or both are just fruit. The other is sometimes a big green salad. Okay, so that's a nice starting, that's like a level 1 detox level, so that's a good starting point. And I'm loving the GI Broom that I made and have been noticing lots of mucoid plaque worms and parasites coming out. That's amazing. So those ingredients that you listed right there of those herbs, those are the main ingredients that come in the GI Broom formula. There's a few other ones, but those are the main ones, so that's good. Let me see here. Okay, but I wanted to ask you for your opinion on when during the day do you think is the best time to consume the GI Broom? Been having it as my first solid meal, at least 2 hours before my fruit meal, but now I'm considering having it last in my day maybe. What do you suggest to your clients? Okay, so this is going to be different for everyone, and what I recommend is whatever works for you. As long as you get it in your body every single day and you're consistent with it, then it doesn't matter. I know people that like to take it first thing in the morning because they feel empty, and like I said, on an empty stomach, with the most simple your diet is pretty much. Now at the top, the best way to take the GI Broom realistically is not having eaten anything, like after fasting, or upon waking up in the morning because you haven't eaten anything all throughout the nighttime. That's the best time to take the GI Broom because the GI Broom is gonna act like a broom. Now, if you have, food that you're still digesting in your colon, in your body, then it's not gonna work as well because energy is still being expended on digesting those foods and breaking down those foods. And at the same time, the GI Broom will then have an obstruction there it has to go through. Now, if you take it during the morning when you've had several hours of not eating anything, that's a benefit. That's one benefit of taking it in the morning. However, there is benefit taking it at night too. Now, I know that if you've been just eating food all day, and then you finally come to nighttime and then it's like you're taking the GI Broom and, you may not be seeing any mucoid plaque, then it can be a problem. But the benefit to taking the GI Broom at night is that resting period. So you take the GI Broom at night right before going to bed and your body is at rest the entire night. What happens when the body is resting? The body is in elimination mode and reparation mode, more so than if you're just, active during the day after taking the GI Broom. And this is because the adrenal glands have a big role here, So the neurotransmitters that the adrenal glands produce, they either produce acetylcholine, which is, relaxing. It's the relaxing hormone, or it produces adrenaline, which throughout the day, people produce, some amounts of adrenaline to get things going. That's their source of energy. And everyone sort of experiences some level or form of stress, even when you're just sitting on the couch and reading a book, or if you're just driving your car or just walking around or talking with people. Everyone experiences some form of stress. So during the day, it can be hard to really eliminate and purge and detox. This is why I always recommend relaxation is so important during your detox. Cannot stress it enough. People that are going to the gym, you should cut it out and just really work on just resting and relaxing as much as possible for the body to have what it needs in order to eliminate. So like I was saying, with those acetylcholine from the adrenal glands, that helps turn on the kidneys, that helps turn on the nervous system too, and the circulatory system. Everything just opens up and flows to eliminate waste and acids and toxins. So that's why there's a benefit to taking the GI Broom at nighttime, and then you have that resting period while you're sleeping, and then you can, you know, poop it out in the morning. That's how I did it during my healing journey. And that's what I recommend to a lot of people. But for some people, they insist on taking it in the morning because they feel better. And for those people, I say, okay, you know, that's great. You can still take it in the morning, as long as you get it in every single day, guys, and you're consistent with it. Because with something like the GI Broom, you do have to be consistent with it, taking it every single day without failure in order to remove mucoid plaque. That's the only way. Remember, the colon is for many feet long. It's very, very long, and you have to detox every little square inch of that long eliminative organ, and that takes time. You know, I still see people eliminating mucoid plaque even after months of being on this GI Broom, because they're working on not only eliminating the mucus on the wall, but it's inside the wall, cellularly, interstitially, that they have to pull on all that mucus and congestion, all that lymph congestion out of the bowels. So yeah, I think that was a great question, really great question. And I think your diet is pretty good too. Citrus, Concord grape juice, like I mentioned before, astringent fruits are gonna help you out a lot. And yeah, I'm really proud of you all for working on your health, for being, you know, being your own healers and learning a lot, and getting help when you need it. I'm here to answer your questions on YouTube. And yeah, I'm really proud of you all. I'm really excited that you're all getting your health back. So with that being said, definitely keep on sending me your questions. I've said in other videos, you can comment questions on this YouTube video. I'll see them first there, and then I'll consider them for the Q&A videos first. And also on Instagram, also through email, through any way you can reach me. You can ask me questions, and then it'll hopefully be featured in a future video. I get many questions, so I usually answer the ones that I feel like other people need to know the answer to. I feel like other people will have the same questions, okay? So thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you all, and I'm really enjoying this place. I love having this office now, just like a sacred space just dedicated to helping my clients heal, helping people heal, filming these videos. So expect more videos to come. Maybe I'll have this decorated a little more next time, you know, hang up some charts and whatnot. And yeah, I look forward to that. Take care, guys. Love you. Bye. If you want to work with me one-on-one on healing any of your health issues or diseases, you know, chronic diseases, it doesn't matter, just any type of disease, you can go to www.spirittropicalhealing.com and you can book a session with me, a one-on-one consultation. I offer the Master Your Health package. That's the package I recommend that brings everything you need in order to start healing your body. And it's really transformative because I do cover everything, every cause, and exactly what you need to do to start healing today. So, okay guys, take care. Love you. Bye.